He was a giant among men, towering over warriors in feudal Japan with skin as dark as midnight and a presence that shook emperors. He arrived in a foreign land as a servant, but rose to become a samurai, an honor few could ever dream of. This is not a legend. This is the true story of Yasuke, the African samurai who defied fate. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll uncover how a man once chained by slavery became one of the most mysterious and revered figures in Japanese history. Let's rewind the clock to the mid-1500s. The world was chaotic. Europe was expanding through colonialism, and Africa was being torn apart by slave traders. Yasuke's true name is lost to time. Some believe he was from Mozambique. Others suggest Sudan or Ethiopia. What we do know is that he was captured or perhaps sold into slavery and ended up under the control of the Jesuits, Christian missionaries from Europe. Now imagine this. You're a young African boy, stolen from your homeland, shipped across seas, and brought to the court of the powerful Jesuit missionary, Alessandro Valignano. But Yasuke wasn't just any servant. He was strong, intelligent, and most importantly, memorable, towering over the average man at nearly 6 feet 2 inches, muscular and dignified. He was unlike anyone the Japanese had ever seen. In 1579, Yasuke arrived in Japan with Valignano. At the time, Japan was a fractured land with warlords or daimyo fighting for control. The country was in the midst of the Sengoku period, an era of intense political and military conflict. To the Japanese, Yasuke was a walking mystery. People crowded the streets just to see him. Some even tried to scrub his skin, thinking the color was painted on. Now here's where the story gets even more intriguing. One day, Yasuke and the Jesuits were summoned to meet one of the most powerful men in Japan, Oda Nobunaga. Oda Nobunaga wasn't just a warlord, he was a revolutionary, ruthless, brilliant, and obsessed with modernizing Japan. And when he met Yasuke, he was instantly fascinated. According to historical records, Nobunaga ordered Yasuke to strip to the waist. He examined his skin closely, marveling at his physique. He couldn't believe Yasuke's strength or complexion was natural. But once convinced, he welcomed him not as a servant, but as a warrior. This was the moment everything changed. Yasuke entered Nobunaga's service, not as a novelty, but as a trusted companion. Think about that. In a land where even Japanese peasants had little chance of becoming samurai, here was an African man given that sacred title. He was given a house, a katana, and possibly even a stipend. Yasuke trained, fought, and lived among the samurai. He attended battles, learned the language, and became a part of Nobunaga's inner circle. There are accounts that Yasuke fought in the Battle of Tenmokuzan and other campaigns, riding into battle alongside seasoned Japanese warriors. He wasn't just a bodyguard. He was a symbol of Nobunaga's open-minded vision for a new Japan. But as quickly as he rose, fate had other plans. In 1582, tragedy struck. Nobunaga was betrayed by one of his own generals, Akechi Mitsuhide. In what became known as the Honnō-ji incident, Mitsuhide's forces ambushed Nobunaga at a Kyoto temple. Realizing the end was near, Nobunaga performed seppuku, ritual suicide to avoid capture. Yasuke was there. Some say he fought fiercely to protect his lord. Others claim he rushed to defend Nobunaga's heir. But ultimately, he was captured. Now you'd expect the enemy to kill a samurai like Yasuke. But they didn't. Why? Because Mitsuhide didn't see him as a true samurai. He dismissed Yasuke as a beast or a foreign thing, saying he wasn't worth killing. He was handed over to the Jesuits just like that. And from this moment on, Yasuke vanishes from history. What happened to Yasuke after 1582? No one knows for sure. Some believe he continued to serve the Jesuits in Japan. Others think he might have tried to return to Africa or been forced back into slavery. And then there are the legends. One tale suggests Yasuke became a ronin, a masterless samurai wandering the land. Another says he lived in secret, training new warriors and keeping the ways of the samurai alive. Some even whisper that he had descendants, passing his legacy down through the generations. But no records confirm any of it. Yasuke becomes a ghost in history, a warrior remembered only in scattered documents, fading ink, and the awe of those who saw him. Today, Yasuke's story is more than a historical footnote. It's a symbol. In a time where race, origin, and status defined a person's fate, Yasuke broke every boundary. He wasn't just a black man in Japan. He wasn't just a warrior. He was a samurai, a title steeped in honor, loyalty, and strength. His story has inspired manga, films, novels, and anime. But often, it's hard to separate fact from fiction. What we do know is this: Yasuke earned his place in a society that never expected someone like him. He rose from the chains of slavery to the battlefield of honor, and in doing so, became one of the most mysterious and inspiring figures in global history. So, what do we make of Yasuke? A warrior without a homeland, a samurai without a past, and a legend that still echoes through time. Yasuke's life reminds us that the human spirit knows no borders and that greatness can rise from the unlikeliest of places. Now tell me, what do you believe happened to Yasuke after Nobunaga's death? Did he vanish into history or live on through legend? Drop your theories in the comments. And if you enjoyed this journey into one of history's greatest mysteries, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Because here, we tell the stories history tried to forget. Until next time, stay curious.